Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. Leadership with kindness. Not everyone has kindness in leadership, let me tell you, but kindness in leadership is such an important skill that you make sure you use within your leadership skills. So important. And that will be our topic today with our incredible guest, Barbara Vercruysse. We are streaming live on mspnewsglobal.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And we're also on the E360 TV network under Fresh Takes, going out to Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, Android TV, and many more. Let's give an official shout out to our show sponsors, Craig Shelley, Beverly Hills Luxury Watches and Fine Jewelry at craigshelley.com. Let's bring in our amazing guest, Barbara Vercruysse. Barbara, welcome to Brilliance Business TV.
Hello, Mark. It's a joy and a pleasure to be here with you today.
Barbara, I am really looking forward to a conversation with you. We have got to know each other over the last couple of years. Yes. We have built a great relationship, and I know how passionate you are about serving people, how passionate you are about business, and most importantly, how passionate you are about having kindness within our leadership skills. Just take us back a little bit about your past and your background that has led you to do what you do today, because I know you have faced some incredible obstacles as well that you have overcome.
Yes, well, today I am running a coaching business which has different pillars. One of the pillars is the business coaching, where BMW is one of my biggest clients. I'm doing quality management, and I'm HR soft skill responsible in the work with them. Then I have my personal coaching clients, which is another pillar of my business. I guide entrepreneurs, corporate leaders, really to find calm and grace, you could say, midst of hectic life. I have an online school that I founded last year, and then I have a web shop where I created some products like gratitude journal, inspiration cards. So at this moment in my life, I'm really living, you could say, or thriving in my business. I'm really leading from the heart. The business that I'm doing is really what I'm most passionate about. But that was not always like that. And the biggest, you could say, shift in my life came in 2003 when I was diagnosed with a stage 4 skin cancer. I was 32 years old at that time, young mom. My youngest was 2 months old, running a construction business since 5 years, which I had started that construction business because my parents had a similar business. So it was mostly based on an unconscious choice to run a construction business, just because I had the entrepreneurial vibe and I wanted to have my own business. So, but being faced with that in 2003, they told me, well, you have practically 6 more months to live, is a huge shock in life. When you're faced with that, it makes you question everything. And the biggest question I asked myself was, what if it ends all here at 32? Am I happy with my legacy? And the answer was no. Until that age, I had lived up to the expectations of other people. I had done what I thought a good person did. You know, you go to school, college, you marry, and you start something, you work. But it was based on mostly, you could say, the opinion of others, or what
Yes.
I thought other people, what I thought other people expected. So I promised myself, if I survive this, because the odds were against me, if I survive this, I will dedicate myself every single day to leave a positive legacy. And then started a journey, you could say, to reinvent myself, because I still had a construction business. I could not stop that from one day to another. We had huge investments. So it took me many years. I followed coaching certification courses, did a lot of conferences, retreats, reading books. And still, I was like a little anxious to change business. And in 2016, I was still running my construction business, but I had already started a coaching business on the side. I was betrayed by two of my employees in the construction business, which almost led to bankruptcy. Wow. So I had to I had to stop my business. As I see it now, you could say those two challenges were a blessing in disguise. The first one was a wake-up call to listen to my soul's purpose. The second one was really the universe pushing me into what I wanted to do, but was anxious to do. So since 2016, I'm running a coaching business. I was very fortunate to work very quickly with, to have an opportunity to work with BMW. And since then, building my business. That's my background in a nutshell.
It's a really inspiring story, Barbara, and to be diagnosed with cancer, having a really busy business, that alone, having a business and a diagnosis, that is such a big obstacle to face, but you did it. But through that tragedy, you have changed direction and pivoted into what your heart was desiring. And I find this a lot. I don't know about you, Barbara, but sometimes some of the obstacles and the hard challenges that we face, they're pushing us into a direction of a better, more positive future, but still really challenging and scary when you are going through that. And then obviously you have had people do one over you, and that has also led you to pivot again and to move away from those things and to follow what you wanted to do. It's really inspiring, and I know you're working on so many great projects at the moment, which we will talk about later. Could you just share a little bit about your business now, Barbara, and how exactly you serve your clients?
Yes. So when it's people who come for personal coaching, of course, we always have first an intake call. And I listen mainly like, can I serve those people? Because I do not work with everyone. Being a mentor or a personal coach, there has to be the click. You really have to be aligned to be able to serve people at their best. But some people, it just doesn't click. Or some people are just not ready for it. Some people are still in the stage like blaming the world. They don't want to change. They want their circumstances to change.
Yes.
And we all know it's the other way around. It's you have to change to change direction or to have a different way of dealing with your circumstances. So that's always first. And I think my strength, as I have overcome so much, that when I serve people, my knowledge is not like theoretical from the books only. I have lived through it. So when people are going through a challenge, whether they're going through a divorce, let's say, and they still have a business and they have children, really to find that calm and centeredness midst of challenging circumstances. It can be that they want to change careers. It's really help people deal with difficult circumstances, but with a certain grace. Find always that inner strength and that inner balance. And I think that's how I can serve people best. When it's with organizations where I do often keynote speeches or work with bigger teams, there it's mostly bringing more compassion, empathy, and kindness into teams. That's my strength, you could say, always having the empathy first.
And I have to admit, Barbara, I don't know whether you agree with me, and I'm sure you will. Kindness in business, empathy in business, yes. And like you mentioned with teams as well, getting teams to be more passionate and have more kindness and empathy. Sometimes it is definitely a lack in business. A lot of people don't use empathy and can be quite cold and don't show kindness in business. But you do get such better, long-lasting results when you do show emotional intelligence, when you are empathetic and you have kindness for the people around you. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. As you know, in working with BMW, I'm really working in a male-dominated environment. I'm part of a management team of several dealerships. And I have to say, in the beginning, since I was many times the only woman in the management team, I could feel like that more alpha male, really boasting, it's me, I'm the best, and really that competitive and feeling very few empathy. And I have learned my way how to stay true to myself and still gain respect and you could say my own way. Now, when we would be in a management team and they would be like talking to each other, almost discussing or fighting, I would just say gently, stop and listen now. And I think there's two very important things to do that. First, of course, to have that respect is to be excellent in what you do. You know, like deliver results. We talked about that first. That excellence. But then I think it's so important that people drop their masks. So many people go to work and they put up a mask. You know, like it's like a mask of toughness, a mask of coldness. They are not the same person that they are at home. And that's not necessary. You cannot, people feel that. They feel I'm not connected with you. And we all know teams work better when there's human connection. When I'm the same person here in front of you as I am with my kids, as I am at BMW. Why is that? Because I'm very centered in my being. My self-confidence comes from within me. It doesn't come from a title. It doesn't come from a car, or it doesn't come from the size of my house. I don't need that to really radiate a certain confidence. And I can do that with empathy. I feel compassion for the people who think they have to wear the mask.
Yes. We need more people with empathy, more kindness in business, and you are walking the walk and talking the talk and changing the world at the same time, Barbara. We've been through a global pandemic, and these kind of skills are what will help everyone to a more positive future of collaboration to get us into a more positive light. Barbara, we're going to a commercial break, so stay where you are. Thank you for joining us for part one of Brilliance Business TV. We're joined with Barbara Vercruysse. She has shared her personal journey of how being diagnosed with cancer set her onto a new path of freedom, living with empathy and having kindness in business. Stay tuned for part two. Welcome back to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I'm your host, Mark Stephen Pooler, and we're joined with the incredible Barbara Vercruysse. Great conversation so far, Barbara. I love what you're about. I'm very like you. I do have empathy, and I'm always coming from a place of kindness. Why are you so passionate about kindness, Barbara? Share a little bit more.
Well, it really comes from my childhood. As a child, I was always called too kind. People will say, Barbara, you're too kind. You're too kind for this world. You will never achieve something. You will never be successful. You're just too kind. And as a 7-year-old, I could not understand. I didn't know what they were talking about. What did I have to do to be less kind? What kind of world did I come in here? What kind of planet was this? Like you have to be less kind. And it has always, for me, kindness, people would say kindness is weakness. And I have never believed that. I have always seen, you could say, that kindness is the most powerful response even to a rude person. Because the one who is rude and yelling at you is the weak one. He is eaten by his emotions. He is angry. He is not balanced. He is like all out. And you staying out of that, in your kind energy, you could say, you're the calm, powerful one. And you can reply, it has nothing to do with being a doormat. You stay out of the negative energy. You stay in your own kindness and positivity. And the Buddha once said, it's not because someone wants you to give the gift of anger that you have to accept it. So staying outside of it is staying powerful. And that's why I'm still so passionate about it, because I really want to bring this message. Kindness is the most powerful response you can have.
I have to agree, Barbara, that when you are kind and you do have empathy, sometimes that can attract some people thinking that they can walk all over you.
Yes.
And some people may see it as a weakness, but very much like you, I always think, no, you have to stay true to your heart and be a good person. And kindness, if that's who you are, kindness is a strength. It's never a weakness. So I really resonate with what you have just shared. It's a really, really important point. Now, you live a really hectic lifestyle, but you always stay calm and balanced. You're a busy mum of 3. You have successful businesses. How do you do it? And do you have some tips for our audience?
Yes. Absolutely. I think it's very important to have certain powerful routines. So what I do in the morning, I get up 1 hour before the rest of the family. For myself, it's very important to have that hour of quiet. So I start with a short meditation just to, to center myself. And then I set my intentions for the day. And one of my intentions, and I think that's a very powerful one, is whatever comes my way today, I will deal with it with grace and ease. So repeating that a few times, in a hectic life, in a business life, things can go in a very different way than we expect. We have always unexpected challenges and setbacks, but really setting an intention. So first meditation, then setting my intentions. And then I do journaling. I think for me, it's important to just 10 minutes journal and have some things to let go. Sometimes we have things that linger on our mind, just to let go of that. And I think in this way, I am, you could say, master of my day. It will not be the day that runs me. With my meditation, intentions, and journaling, I run my day instead of the day running me.
I have to agree, Barbara. Meditation on a morning is very, very powerful to make you
Yes.
think better, show up
Yes.
better, get better results. Everything about meditation I love. I haven't journaled as much lately, but I did journal heavily, and I know that's very, very powerful as well. I love visualization as well. I think it's important to visualize our futures, but when we're in alignment and we're sticking to those daily rituals, even when you're super busy, you do just feel so more aligned and in balance, and things just seem to fall into place rather than feeling like you're fighting against the day. Do you agree with me there?
Absolutely. And what I do when I would feel like that the tension rises, it's sometimes simple breathing exercises, like pause and shut everything. Oh, one of the most important things in life is that I have no notifications on my phone anymore.
That's clever.
So it's not my phone who is running my day. I just cut off all notifications. And I think that's very powerful. It's really you being the master of your day and your time. A good time management can relieve a lot of stress too. If you're very organized and structured, that can help too. And I think, and a few times a day, just pause and have some deep breaths to find, because our breath is really, you could say, is the carrier, and you can feel it when you start to breathe like heavily and on not imbalanced, then like, okay, it's time here to just a few minutes step back and not get like in the rat race. Really, I think that's a powerful exercise too.
Very powerful, Barbara. I know you're working on some incredible things. You have a new book that you're working on. You are a keynote speaker at Harvard. So just tell us a little bit about what you're working on now and what you're working on for the future, Barbara.
Well, I'm in the process of writing the book, The Path of Powerful Kindness. So it's a book very, very close to my heart, and the subtitle is How a Renewed Reverence for Life Can Awaken Humanity and Transform Your Life. I think when we're here with humanity, we're at the crossroads. Most of us feel we cannot go on like that. We have exhausted ourselves. We have exhausted the planet. Like half of the planet has hunger, half of the planet, like those things are in 2021 crazy. So this book is really a guide how we can transform our lives, and in being kind and balanced leaders, a mature leadership can really change your own life, can change your company, and can change communities and humanity. So that's the mission for the book, that kindness is not weakness, and that every human being is worthy. So the book, and then the second thing is the keynote speech for Harvard. That's in autumn. And there the topic is the same, leading with powerful kindness, really talking to leaders how they can drop that mask and really have that vulnerability to show up with empathy. And that's even more powerful. It can be scary, because you have to be open for discussions. You have to be open, like to get challenged. And therefore, you need that confidence in who you are. But I think it's the only way we can now move on with humanity.
Just incredible work that you're doing. I'm super impressed that you're speaking at Harvard, Barbara. That must feel great to you.
Yes.
Or you
Scary
excited
too.
about that?
Scary too, but
I was going to say, I bet you're a little bit nervous.
Yes, absolutely. But when I, it's a cliche, but it's like that. When you feel scared, you are growing. It's like
Definitely. And it's a great achievement to know you have spoken at Harvard.
Yeah.
Good luck with the new book.
Thank
I'll
you.
be doing more coverage of that when that comes out in around October time as well, Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
And now also, Barbara, I know you have a great online course, The Journey. Just tell us a little bit about this online course and how our audience can grab a copy of the course, and who is this for? Who would you ideally like to come and check it out?
I think this is for people who feel like a kind of emptiness in their life. They have lived life and it's more like rut and routine. They miss passion. They miss vitality. They miss like direction in their lives. And they're like, oh, okay, how did I end up here in a life? My marriage is like blah, my work is like blah. And then it's really taking people from where they are now to where they want to be. It's a course with 30 videos. There's a textbook. There's a workbook with lots of exercises. There's a gratitude journal to it. It's like a self-coaching program. You coach yourself with me because I guide you through the videos in how you can really make huge changes in your life. So I think it's really, instead of immediately taking a personal coach, which can be quite an investment, you can try with the online course first and see if that's something that's for you.
I love the name of it as well, because it just makes total sense, The Journey. I would encourage everyone to go to startthelifeofyourdreams.com. That's startthelifeofyourdreams.com for the online course, The Journey. You'll be in super safe hands with anything Barbara is involved in. That's at startthelifeofyourdreams.com. Barbara, I have really enjoyed having a conversation with you today. Thank you so much for coming on to the Brilliance Business TV show.
Thank you, Mark. It was a real pleasure talking to you today.
It's always a pleasure to connect with you, Barbara. Thank you, everyone, for watching Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. Today, our conversation has been with Barbara Vercruysse. She has shared how she has overcome cancer, and that spiraled her into a new direction of leadership, empowering and supporting people in life and in business, and using great skills of empathy, kindness, passion, everything that business should be about. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.